Imagine a ring where two of the most electrifying combat sports legends step into the squared circle, ready to go head-to-head in a battle of sheer will, power, and skill. What if the thunderous might of Mike Tyson's ferocious punches collided with the razor-sharp precision and unmatched confidence of Conor McGregor? What would happen when two icons from two different worlds of combat face off in the ultimate imaginary showdown? This isn't a fantasy fight made of hollow predictions, but a clash of styles, personalities, and legacies that fans have dreamed of for years. Today, we're about to dive deep into the heart-pounding world of an imaginary boxing match between Mike Tyson and Conor McGregor. Get ready for an adrenaline-fueled journey into the unknown. Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history, has a legacy built on ferocity, speed, and unrivaled knockout power. His reputation for demolishing opponents in the first few rounds is legendary. The moment he steps into the ring, his presence alone can rattle even the most seasoned fighters. Tyson's punches are as feared as they are respected. When he was at his prime, the world watched in awe as his fists sent rivals crashing to the canvas with brutal force. But Tyson's story is more than just a trail of knockouts. It's the story of a fighter who overcame adversity, battled demons, and rose to become an icon of the sport. Then, there's Conor McGregor, the brash Irishman who took the mixed martial arts world by storm. McGregor's rise through the ranks of UFC wasn't just about his precision and unique fighting style. It was about his ability to captivate an audience and trash talk his way into the minds of his opponents. Known for his unorthodox stance and uncanny ability to predict his wins, McGregor has the perfect combination of swagger and skill. From his historic UFC featherweight and lightweight championships to his groundbreaking boxing match with Floyd Mayweather, McGregor's legacy is far-reaching. But would his fighting, IQ, and precision translate when facing a fighter like Tyson? The contrast between Tyson and McGregor is more than just their fighting styles. Tyson, with his thunderous hooks and head-down, aggressive approach, stands in stark contrast to McGregor's sharp counter-striking and unpredictable movements. Tyson's ferocity is often overwhelming, with his knockout power a key weapon in any match. On the other hand, McGregor is known for his pinpoint precision, making every strike calculated and meaningful. But would his finesse and calm demeanor under pressure stand up to Tyson's ferocity? As we break down this mythical match, it's not just about power or speed. It's about the mentality of two fighters who built their empires on different approaches to combat. Tyson's relentless pursuit of victory through aggression and intimidation stands opposite McGregor's ability to outthink and outclass opponents with calculated brilliance. This clash of mentalities creates the ultimate battle of endurance and intellect. Imagine Tyson stepping into the ring, the crowd roaring with anticipation. The energy is palpable as the bell rings, and immediately, Tyson's presence commands the space. He takes his signature stance, feet planted, eyes locked on McGregor. The intensity in the air is almost tangible, as if Tyson is about to unleash a storm of punches at any given moment. But McGregor, ever the showman, doesn't flinch. He smiles, confidently weaving in and out of Tyson's range, bouncing on his toes, and ready to deliver his own brand of psychological warfare. There's a sense of inevitability in the air. Both fighters are poised for greatness, yet only one can claim victory. Tyson, being the power puncher he is, makes the first move. With a lightning-fast jab, he closes the distance and fires off a series of hooks that could end the fight in an instant. McGregor, though, is elusive, his head movement sharp, his footwork fluid. The punches whiz by him like bullets, but Tyson doesn't stop, not for a second. He's relentless, like a machine built to break down his opponent. But McGregor's quick reflexes and uncanny ability to read his opponent give him the edge in avoiding the worst of Tyson's barrage. It's clear that the first round is going to be a battle of wills, with both men showcasing their unique talents. But then Tyson connects. A perfectly timed uppercut that sends a jolt through McGregor's body. The crowd goes wild, but McGregor quickly recovers, gritting his teeth and letting out a sharp exhale. He's still in this fight. Tyson's power is undeniable, but McGregor's ability to withstand the blows and keep his cool in the heat of the moment raises a crucial question: how much can Tyson's power break McGregor's composure? As the fight continues, McGregor finds his rhythm, starting to chip away at Tyson's defense with his fluid footwork and sharp counters. McGregor's jab finds its mark, and his left hand begins to crack with precision, landing in places Tyson isn't expecting. Tyson's approach, so dependent on closing the distance and overwhelming his opponent, seems to run into a wall with McGregor's unpredictable style. The tension rises. Tyson's punches are coming fast and furious, but McGregor's cool-headed counters and unorthodox movements keep him in the fight. But here's where things get interesting. Tyson, despite his aggression, has a tendency to fade after the early rounds if he doesn't land that knockout blow. McGregor, on the other hand, has proven time and again that he thrives in the later rounds, especially when his opponent begins to tire. As the rounds pass, McGregor's confidence grows. His shots are landing with more regularity, and Tyson's ferocity, once unrelenting, seems to be wearing thin. Can Tyson finish McGregor before the later rounds, where McGregor's endurance and sharpness could give him the edge? Or will McGregor's ability to adapt and weather the storm be enough to take the fight into the championship rounds, where his mental toughness could tip the scales in his favor? The bell rings. The suspense is thick. The world holds its breath. We're only getting started. The crowd is on edge as the seconds tick away, and both fighters stand in their corners, catching their breath. The world is watching, waiting to see who will break first. Mike Tyson, once a ferocious force of nature, now faces a challenge like no other. He's been in the ring with some of the best fighters like Larry Holmes, Evander Holyfield, and Frank Bruno, but McGregor is different. Tyson knows that McGregor's ability to read an opponent, to control the psychological aspect of the fight, could be the key to his downfall. McGregor, on the other hand, is used to the pressure of big fights, having fought under the brightest lights. But even he can't deny the intimidating presence of Tyson. The power in Tyson's punches is something McGregor has never experienced before. He's faced powerful men in the cage, but Tyson's combination of raw strength and speed in the ring is an entirely different beast. The mental game is just as important as the physical one in this fight, and McGregor, ever the strategist, begins to plot his next move. He's not just fighting Tyson's fists, he's fighting the history, the fear, and the weight that comes with being in the ring with a legend. As the bell rings for the second round, Tyson charges forward, trying to get back in control. His mind is sharp. He knows that his best chance to win this fight is to get McGregor in close and unload a series of devastating body shots to slow him down. The crowd roars as Tyson launches a heavy jab, followed by a body shot, but McGregor's reflexes are like lightning. He moves to the side, narrowly avoiding the power that Tyson is known for. But McGregor can feel the pressure building. Every second Tyson is in close range, he knows he risks being overpowered. McGregor takes a step back, recalculating. He needs to create space, he needs to stay mobile, and he needs to disrupt Tyson's rhythm. His jabs land clean, stinging Tyson, but it's clear that Tyson is unfazed. The man has been hit by harder punches in his prime, and McGregor's light jabs don't seem to faze him. Tyson, however, is starting to look a bit frustrated. He's used to having opponents crumble under his power, but McGregor isn't giving him that satisfaction. The tension between the two grows, and for the first time in the match, Tyson looks like he might be on the back foot. But Tyson has a secret weapon: his body. His legendary power isn't just in his fists, it's in his entire frame. With every swing, he forces McGregor to move backward, draining his energy. Tyson is relentless, and though McGregor dodges many of his punches, the sheer force behind each shot begins to weigh on him. The strategy is clear: Tyson is playing the long game. wear McGregor down and force him into a position where Tyson can finally land that decisive blow. Meanwhile, McGregor is more than aware of Tyson's approach. He's been here before, in situations where his opponents relied on power to break him. His ability to withstand pressure is unmatched. McGregor's mind is calculating, keeping track of every opening Tyson gives him. He knows that Tyson's stamina will fade eventually, and that's when McGregor plans to strike. But Tyson is not a man to be underestimated. Despite the fatigue starting to set in, Tyson's punch is still heavy and his focus razor sharp. Meanwhile, McGregor is more than aware of Tyson's approach. He's been here before, in situations where his opponents relied on power to break him. His ability to withstand pressure is unmatched. McGregor's mind is calculating, keeping track of every opening Tyson gives him. He knows that Tyson's stamina will fade eventually, and that's when McGregor plans to strike. But Tyson is not a man to be underestimated. Despite the fatigue starting to set in, Tyson's punch is still heavy and his focus razor sharp. The fight isn't just about physicality anymore, it's a mental battle. McGregor knows that Tyson's past struggles with mental fragility are his best chance. Tyson's inner demons have always been a part of his story, his volatile temper, his rise and fall from grace, the chaos that surrounded his life outside the ring. McGregor, ever the psychological expert, uses every opportunity to get under Tyson's skin. He taunts, mocks, and tries to frustrate the former champion, looking for the crack in the armor. But Tyson, now in his 50s, is a different man. His years of experience have toughened him mentally, as well as physically. He's calm, focused, and in this moment, his desire to prove himself all over again burns fiercely. There's another subplot playing out beneath the surface, a battle of legacy. For Tyson, this fight is more than just about winning. It's about reclaiming a part of his legacy that time and life have taken away. The world remembers Tyson's incredible rise to the top, but his later years were marred by controversy, jail time, and personal struggles. Now, he wants to remind everyone why he was once considered the most dangerous man on the planet. Beating McGregor in the ring would solidify his place in history, prove that he still has what it takes to dominate. For McGregor, this fight is about proving to the world that he belongs among the all-time greats, even in a sport that isn't his own. He's built his career on facing challenges head-on, whether it's taking on bigger opponents, switching from MMA to boxing, or calling out the toughest names in combat sports. A victory over Tyson would not only cement his place in the conversation of the greatest combat athletes, but would also send a message to everyone who has doubted his abilities. He's not just a talker, he's a fighter. As the rounds tick by, the match reaches an intensity that is hard to describe. Both men have moments where they seem on the verge of overwhelming the other, but neither breaks. The mental and physical strain is beginning to show, and with each passing second, the fight becomes more unpredictable. Tyson's punches are landing less frequently, and McGregor is growing bolder, throwing combinations that seem to find their target. But Tyson's power is still there, still lurking, ready to make an appearance at any moment. The fans can feel it too. The anticipation is building. Everyone in the arena is on the edge of their seat, knowing that this fight could end at any time. One punch, one slip up, and it's over. Tyson's power could still turn the tide in an instant. But McGregor's speed and strategy are proving to be formidable weapons. Every second that ticks by feels like a countdown to something monumental. But here's the thing, the fight is far from over. There's still so much at stake. What happens next could determine the outcome, but neither Tyson nor McGregor knows which direction this battle will take. The clock is ticking, and the real test of their endurance, heart, and legacy is yet to unfold. The true question remains, who will come out on top when it's all said and done? Only time will tell. As the rounds wear on, the atmosphere becomes increasingly electric. Tyson, once a figure of sheer dominance, is showing signs of slowing down. His punches, while still dangerous, are coming less frequently, and McGregor, his footwork sharper and his timing more precise, seems to be gaining ground. The crowd is buzzing with anticipation, sensing that something big is about to happen. It's a tug of war, a battle of attrition. But then, something unexpected happens that shifts the entire course of the fight. In the midst of a chaotic exchange, McGregor lands a clean right hook that catches Tyson flush on the jaw. For a split second, the world seems to freeze. Tyson staggers back, his legs wobbling as if he's seeing double. The crowd erupts, unsure of what they just witnessed. Tyson, the once unshakable force, now seems vulnerable. The air is thick with disbelief. McGregor sees the opening, and for the first time in the match, he moves with calculated aggression, closing the distance and throwing a flurry of punches. Tyson's guard is high, but his reaction time is slow, far slower than it should be. For a moment, it feels as if McGregor might have the upper hand. But just when it seems like Tyson is about to topple, something strange happens. Tyson, in a split-second decision, suddenly drops his guard and steps forward. It's a risky move, almost uncharacteristic of the Tyson everyone knows. His eyes lock onto McGregor's with a cold intensity. For a moment, there's no longer a fighter in front of McGregor. There's just a beast, a version of Tyson that seems unburdened by fatigue, focused only on the kill. McGregor hesitates for a fraction of a second, and in that hesitation, Tyson explodes forward with a vicious uppercut that McGregor barely dodges. The punch, though missing its mark, is enough to rattle McGregor. He stumbles back, the weight of Tyson's sheer will crashing into him like a freight train. It's clear that Tyson has found a second wind, an adrenaline surge that pulls him from the brink of defeat. But what's even more surprising is the realization that Tyson hasn't just recovered, he's evolved mid-fight. McGregor's confidence, built on the anticipation of Tyson's fatigue, begins to crack. He's never faced a fighter who could adapt so swiftly, so dangerously. Tyson has now morphed into something more than the boxer McGregor had been prepared for. The mental game has taken a dark turn. McGregor, who prides himself on getting into his opponent's heads, is now the one questioning his strategy. The twist of Tyson's resurgence forces McGregor to reconsider every move, every counter, every attack. The psychological warfare that McGregor had been waging against Tyson has now backfired, leaving him scrambling to regain control. In a moment of clarity, McGregor begins to see something else in Tyson's eyes, something darker, almost primal. It's as if Tyson is no longer just fighting to win, but fighting for redemption. But this twist is far from over. The true shock comes when, in the midst of the chaos, McGregor slips on the canvas. The unthinkable happens. McGregor, normally so sure-footed, loses his balance, hitting the ropes and narrowly avoiding a heavy left hook from Tyson that would have sent him crashing to the floor. The crowd gasps in unison. Was that a moment of fate? Or a sign of McGregor's own limitations under pressure? McGregor recovers quickly, but the slip leaves a lingering question. Could this be the turning point Tyson has been waiting for? The fight, once a clash of wills, has now become a race against time. Tyson's newfound surge of energy is unsettling. McGregor, a master of controlling the pace, is now struggling to regain his momentum. The weight of the match seems to be getting heavier with every passing second. But McGregor isn't out yet. His mind races, analyzing every detail, every small mistake Tyson makes. The Irishman knows that Tyson, no matter how dangerous, still has weaknesses. He just has to exploit them. But then, just as McGregor is preparing for his next move, another unexpected twist unfolds. Tyson suddenly stops. In the middle of his relentless attack, he freezes. His face, once filled with fire and fury, now looks, dare it be said, lost. It's as though Tyson has momentarily forgotten where he is, his eyes unfocused. Is it the weight of his years catching up to him? Is the fight draining him more than he realized? The crowd grows eerily silent, sensing that something is amiss. McGregor, sensing an opportunity, takes a cautious step forward. He watches Tyson, waiting for the next move. But Tyson doesn't respond. For several seconds, there is nothing but the sound of labored breathing and the tension that fills the arena. McGregor's hesitation could cost him. He knows that one misstep, one wrong move could spell disaster. But what's worse? The fact that Tyson might be tiring, or the possibility that Tyson is simply toying with him, giving him a false sense of control? And then, in the blink of an eye, Tyson snaps back to reality. His eyes clear, his body shifts back into motion. It's as if the entire moment of weakness never even happened. The crowd erupts as Tyson charges forward, catching McGregor off guard with a jab that lands square on his chin. McGregor stumbles, his head snapping back. The punch is not enough to knock him down, but it's a reminder of Tyson's power, a reminder that this fight isn't over yet. Tyson's unexpected mental lapse and his immediate resurgence have thrown McGregor off balance, and now the fight seems to be shifting in ways neither fighter anticipated. It's a true test of who can survive in the face of relentless pressure, who can adapt when everything seems to be falling apart. McGregor now has to wrestle not just with Tyson's fists, but with the unpredictable nature of a man who refuses to be defeated by anything, neither time, nor age, nor his own inner struggles. As the fight rages on, the stakes have never been higher. McGregor's mind is working overtime, trying to decode Tyson's erratic movements, while Tyson, determined to prove something deeper than just victory, is ready to show the world that legends never truly fade. The question remains, who will break first? Will Tyson's raw power and experience win out, or will McGregor's calculated precision be the key to his triumph? The next move will change everything. The final round looms, and the tension is unbearable. Both fighters, bloodied and bruised, have reached the edge of their endurance. Tyson, once a juggernaut who bulldozed opponents with relentless aggression, is now a man who has seen the very limits of his own stamina. McGregor, despite his best efforts, is beginning to show signs of fatigue. His movements are slower now, his normally sharp jabs less accurate. Yet, there's a fire still burning in both men, an insatiable desire to prove something bigger than themselves. They've pushed each other to the brink, and now only one can walk away victorious. Tyson, sensing that McGregor is weakening, presses forward with a barrage of punches that would have felled most men. The crowd roars as his fists fly in a deadly symphony of speed and power. McGregor, however, digs deep, his mind focused, finding a reserve of energy he didn't know he had. He dodges, counters, and weaves with everything he's got left, refusing to let Tyson's intensity crush him. He knows this is it, the moment where everything could either break or be rebuilt. Tyson's punches land, but they don't have the same impact they did earlier in the fight. McGregor, showing the resilience he's famous for, begins to find his rhythm again. His timing sharpens, and his counters become cleaner. A right hook lands square on Tyson's temple, followed by a sharp left hand that sends Tyson back a few steps. For a brief moment, it feels as if the pendulum has swung in McGregor's favor. The roar of the crowd surges as McGregor begins to take control, his speed and agility once again dictating the pace of the fight. But just as McGregor moves in for the finish, a twist no one saw coming unfolds. Tyson, as if fueled by something beyond physical exhaustion, takes a deep breath and charges with a fury that surprises even McGregor. It's a desperate move, a last-ditch effort to turn the tide in his favor. Tyson swings wildly, and McGregor, momentarily caught off guard by the sudden intensity, attempts to dodge. The move is almost too late. Tyson's punch, heavy and wild, connects with McGregor's jaw in a way that shakes his entire body. For a split second, McGregor's world spins, his legs faltering as if the earth beneath him has disappeared. The crowd falls silent. McGregor stumbles, struggling to stay on his feet, but he refuses to fall. His heart beats in his chest like a drum, and for the first time in the fight, it feels as though time is slowing down. His body is telling him to quit, to give in, but his mind refuses. It's this moment, the moment that will define him. As Tyson moves in for what could be the final blow, McGregor gathers every ounce of strength, every shred of willpower, and throws a counter left hand with everything he has left. The punch lands with a thud, right on Tyson's chin. And just like that, it happens. Tyson's legs give way beneath him as his body crumples to the canvas. The roar of the crowd erupts into chaos. Tyson, the once unstoppable force, is down. McGregor, battered but victorious, stands tall in the ring, panting, his body screaming in pain, but his face is a picture of triumph. The referee steps in, raising McGregor's hand as the victor, but the moment is more than just a win. It's a statement, a testament to his resilience, his heart, and his ability to fight against insurmountable odds. The world, for a fleeting moment, stands still. But then, just as McGregor begins to soak in his victory, something incredible happens. Tyson, lying on the canvas, struggles to lift himself up. There's no anger in his eyes, no frustration, just respect. He pulls himself to his feet slowly, and as he does, he locks eyes with McGregor. There's no animosity, no bitterness, just an unspoken understanding between two warriors. McGregor, his breath heavy, nods at Tyson in acknowledgement, a rare moment of humility. Tyson, once a symbol of raw power and dominance, smiles faintly, not in defeat, but in recognition of what McGregor has just achieved. The fight, which began as a contest of strength, has now transformed into something more profound, a meeting of minds, a clash of legacies, and a mutual respect that transcends the ring. Tyson may have lost the fight, but in a way, he's won something too, the recognition that even in his later years, he still commands the respect of the world. For McGregor, this victory is not just about winning in the ring, it's about proving that no matter the challenge, no matter the odds, he's the one who will always find a way to rise. As the cameras flash and the cheers continue to echo throughout the arena, McGregor, now a victor in a fight that seemed impossible, reflects on the true nature of this battle. It was never just about power or skill. It was about heart, grit, and the will to continue when everything else said to quit. In the end, it was that heart that earned him the victory, one that will be remembered for generations. The story of this mythical battle will live on in the annals of combat sports history, a reminder that in the world of warriors, anything is possible.